But seriously, time.
Howdy, y'all. This is part 2. This is part 2.
Part 2.
Of Karla.
You want me to do it?
A.K.A. Jabberjaw.
I talk about you.
So anyhow, y'all
You want to do
enjoy.
it again?
No, we won't do it again. So this is part 2, everybody. Enjoy watching. We'll see you. We'll see you on part 3. Oh! How dare you? Anyhow, enjoy part 2, y'all.
But it's cool.
It was
though.
a cool game. I
Brings
liked
back
it.
good memories.
Oh yeah.
Just sorry that Ralphie was such a
And I can't.
jerk.
Well, yeah, I guess I could say, what was the first car you learned to drive in? It's our our Subaru Outback.
2015
15.
Outback.
You learned.
What's the one we got now? Is it a 15?
Subaru Outback? That's
It's a
2015.
What was the other one? A 10?
09 Outback.
09? I was thinking it was a 10.
Yeah, I was so proud of her. She got her driver's license, what, about 3 years ago?
Right.
Or
Yeah.
3 years ago. Yeah.
2015.
It was
or
after
16.
I'd had my heart attack, so it
Yeah.
was about a year after I had my heart attack. So yeah,
And-
she finally realized the seriousness of having a driver's license.
Well, no, not only that, but it was because of my dyslexia, and I had to get
Oh, yeah.
somebody to teach me.
However,
and that's another
it happened.
driver.
Praise Jesus, it
Praise
happened.
Jesus.
She has her driver's license.
Yes.
Now she can just keep from running into things.
You ain't
No,
mad
she's
about
a
the
good
rose.
driver.
You ain't mad about the rose
No,
bush. I was scared to death telling. Because on one side, the passenger side, when I'd back out of her driveway, I could hear it.
Yeah.
And then my big mouth sister had to say,
I have to admit,
did you tell him about
yeah, you didn't, but I found it.
You probably found it the same day I did it, probably.
The bad thing with our driveway is it comes out at a slight angle, and if you're
Yeah,
not paying attention, you think you're going to back straight out. You'll
Yeah.
end up in the rose bush.
So is that why I do that?
Yeah, because I've
even
done it
drove
a couple
over
of
the
times.
water meter. Praise Jesus, it didn't bust the water meter.
Yeah, no, that got a little serious that night. Now, but see, I did that.
That was the
one time.
first time though.
I
But
did
I
that
put
one
2
time.
big boulders right there by it,
Yeah.
and one of them little lights that solar lights. Hey, I ain't gonna miss it, cause I know if I bump up on that boulder, I'm over too far. I know. I don't look out the back mirror.
Yeah.
I don't look at the little camera. Yeah, I do too.
So anyway, moving along, what were some of the interesting gadgets and inventions you remember growing up? Well, the Simon, that was pretty cool. Pong, you remember?
Yes,
Pong.
we had a Pong. Pong.
Good God, it took what, like 300 C or D cell batteries. It was ridiculous, the amount of batteries.
Ours didn't.
Didn't it? I never got one, but Ralph had one. He let me borrow it, and God almighty, it was like 10 D cell batteries.
Is Pong the one that goes like
Yeah,
that?
bing, bing, bing. Well, I'll tell you
Well,
what.
see, we actually
I'll,
had Pong on our TV when we'd go camping, and we had this little bitty black and white TV, and the screen couldn't have been that big.
Yeah,
and you push it down, and it goes down flat. You'll have to look that up too.
Yeah, I'll have a picture up here, because I'm sure
what was
younger
the
people
neatest
are going to be like,
invention?
Pong? What's Pong? Well, it's that thing that your mom and dad bought you that basically ruined your television, because it would burn an image
Daddy
into
would
the TV.
not allow us to play it on the big Zenith.
Yeah,
No,
see,
that's a floor model.
LCD screen and LED and all these newer type
Yeah.
screens, it won't do that. But the old
But
CRTs,
the old ones, oh yeah.
yeah, you'll ruin a cathode ray tube.
What was the question again?
Interesting gadgets you remember from growing up.
Dad always bought these little puzzle things, and he used to kill me because he knew that he could make a bet, a $20 bet, that I'd never fix it, and I'd sit and watch him. And they were basically these little puzzle
Yeah, they
cubes.
still have those.
Do you remember those?
Oh
I
God,
thought
Rubik's
those.
Cube. Oh my jeez.
No,
Lord
it's not
have mercy.
Rubik's
Yeah,
cubes.
but that was one of the puzzle type
and
games. It's
you
like,
had to figure
whoa.
it out. The little puzzle. like an octagon shape, and it was plastic.
Yeah, because see the Rubik's that
came
out.
It would drive me crazy.
Well, that came out in what was that? 80, 81.
Yeah.
It was while we were in high school.
Yeah.
Everybody except me, I couldn't stand it. They aggravated me. Your sister had one.
Yeah, and
she peeled the stickers.
Yeah, and then she went to my dad and said, "Look, Daddy, I'm a genius." I said, "No, she ain't, Daddy. She lied." She
you know,
peeled
all
the
these years
out.
later, them stupid things are still popular.
Yeah, yeah.
And not like they were back then.
Oh my God.
Then when we was little kids, you remember what they call a boondoggle?
Yeah.
This is plastic string, but you would tie it in certain knots and make keychains and crap out.
Well, I'll tell you what I thought was really cool.
I have to look that up.
Do you remember clackers?
Oh,
remember
God,
clackers? Yeah. Oh, my God. Ask me how many times I hit myself in the forehead with one of them daggone things. Clackers.
Without hearing this noise.
We used to drive my mother crazy with them on October 4th Day. We used to get them and we'd sit there and...
Yeah, they were made. All they were was two, I think what material, lucite or something. They were two balls held together with string and you smack them back and forth. Most irritating and dangerous toy.
Yeah.
They had a lucite or something. I mean, you couldn't break them. They were unbreakable.
Hard plastic or something.
I don't know.
But they sounded like glass.
Yeah, because I got bored and I started slamming mine on the pavement trying to break. You couldn't break it.
Take a hammer to it.
The dang stuff. It's like, what is this made out of? I think it was lucite or something. It was some new invention in the early 70s. I begged my mom and dad, please, please. They finally got me one, and I played with it.
I think the neatest invention was the computer, because back when we were teenagers, they were really starting to come out. And I had a Tandy 800 was my first one, and you had to type in DOS. Anybody knows anything about DOS?
Yeah, everybody had. You had to learn the basics of basic programming just to operate one.
And I'm dyslexic, so I got this Radio Shack book about yay thick. I'm sitting there. I got Kaleidoscope to do one time. Oh,
not to mention
because
how
if you
expensive they were. God,
if you mess up, my first computer was in '96 or '97.
Oh yeah, the classic syntax error.
Yeah.
You mess one line,
I had
a code
Tandy,
up, you're done.
Buddy.
And
I said, I don't know about this computer crap. This sucks. This ain't
when
for
I
me.
was going
but
to
I
school,
love computers now. I still hate.
When I was going to school studying computer technology, I wanted to learn how to fix them. I could care less about programming them. But one of the things I had to do is I had to go through programming, not only basic, but I had to learn Fortran and
God, what
was the other? It's machine language. There was another one. It's been so long ago.
DOS is one.
Well, honey, that's basic. In fact, there's a DOS prompt on even modern computers. Now,
Praise God,
you know what? It's
changed.
been so many years. I'll bet you anything you can still use basic command lines in DOS because I don't know. Don't hold me to that.
Can I say my top 5 favorite inventions? Okay, it's the computer, the cell phone.
Speaking about computer, remember the little sports games? It was little LED lights.
Yes.
Little LED lights, and it was like football, basketball. Yeah. Basically, all you was doing is you take the little dot across the screen.
It's like,
it was so stupid, but it was fun. Well,
and like Miss Pac-Man, the video games that were upright. What would you call those?
The what now?
The video games, like Pac-Man that had the little console.
Oh yeah, those were.
That's my third one. The
video game arcades. Those were real popular.
Cameras, because my first camera was a 110, then I had a 126, with the flash, and then I had a Polaroid. My first camera I ever had, I was about 10 or 12 years old. And my aunt had gotten it for me. She said, it takes real pictures. And I said, oh, this is going to be cool. Well, after that, I fell in love with it. And that's the time in high school that I met Donald, Kentucky Ranger. And he had his own dark room. And I thought, oh, he's the bomb. He showed me one day how he did all this stuff. And You remember the time I turned the light on when I wasn't supposed to?
Yeah, that ruined it. Well, thank God I wasn't developing
Nothing important.
anything. Well, the only thing you ruined, it's a good thing I didn't have the pack of paper open. You'd have ruined the whole pack. But it was just, I had one piece out and I was getting ready to expose it and she turned the light on.
What?
I was like, no.
You didn't tell me not to turn the light on. I thought, why in the world's he got this stupid red light on?
Well, see, developing the film.
Yeah, now I know.
Once you got it into the canister, you could turn the light on because then you just you pour the chemicals, you spin it around a little bit, bang it and agitate it to get the air bubbles. But
I thought that was really cool. Somebody I knew actually had a dark room because I was just fascinated with taking
anybody
pictures.
out there that has ever done black and white photography, they know all about the smell of stop bath.
Yeah.
Woo, that stuff smells. Oh, and another thing I tried to get into, and I finally had to stop, was that sepia toning.
Yeah.
Oh, that chemical stinks.
Oh, it make you high.
The only thing I can remember how you could, what you could compare it to is you could take a cup of cow pee, leave it sit on the back porch for about 3 months, and then stick your nose right up in it. That's how stinky it was. Gross. Yeah. Thank God the digital dark room, there's no stink. You can do whatever you want.
That was my, what number was that now? Third,
3?
fourth?
I think it was 3.
Let's see what else. TVs, because they've changed over the years.
Most definitely.
And let's see.
I had one of them little LCD
TVs.
black and white TVs, them little teeny ones.
Shoot, I never did get one.
They wouldn't work anymore because they're analog, and now the digital TV signals, you can't use them anymore.
See, he was a rich kid.
Oh no, I wasn't. I busted my butt, saved my money up to get that stupid little TV. It was from Radio Shack.
Not me.
And
we were lucky to get a flip clock. Remember the flip clocks? Remember those? Remember the flip clocks?
Yeah.
I thought those were just cool.
Yeah, in fact, if I find one, I'm going to show a picture of that Radio Shack.
Cell phones,
black and white TV.
TVs, cameras, cell phone. Let's see.
TVs. Now we're in cell phone. I guess that'd be 6 or cell phone, or would that be 7? I've lost track.
Let's see. Camera, cell phone, video games, cameras. Did I say that twice? I don't know. Shoot. Next question.
Next question. Okay.
No, remote controls for the TV.
Controls,
yes, the clickers.
Lord, the clickers.
The clickers. Okay. Now we'll change.
It saved us from having to get up and change the channel every time our parents wanted to watch something.
They didn't have to put batteries in us though.
No, but they had to feed us.
We never did get. My dad, he never would get a clicker.
Oh, mine wouldn't either. We
no.
We went to the store and bought a brand new Magnavox 25-inch console TV. Didn't get the remote. It came with a remote, but it was $20 extra. He would not spend $20
Maybe that's why
on
Daddy
the
didn't
remote.
get one with our Zenas.
So here's this fancy Magnavox TV with the tuner looked like a calculator. It had a touchpad on it with an LED display.
And we didn't have that for a while.
But
we had the dial.
You could see that there should be a remote. Yeah, the old mechanical clinky remote. No, this was actually.
No, that was the dial on our fingers. Click, 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 changing the channel.
Yeah, let's see. It was an actual. I mean, you could tell. Yeah, he was too cheap.
Yeah, you got to bring up pictures of all this stuff because the young folks don't know what all that we have seen in our lifetime, and
oh yeah,
these are the inventions I think has really changed our world.
Oh yeah,
and really have made a real change.
Well, if you think the internet,
cell phones.
I didn't really think anything about the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it was.
Remember the dial-up?
Well, I knew.
With AOL.
See, I knew it was there, but to where it actually became affordable.
Yeah.
For like people like me.
Yeah.
Was probably 90.
Mhm.
Let me think.
It was still pretty high though.
97. Okay, it was 97. The first computer I got, it still had Windows 95.
I had a Windows 95.
It
was a laptop.
It
That
just
was my
had
first
enough. I mean,
laptop.
it had a good. I think it was the first year they came out with a Pentium processor. But it wasn't anything to write home about. I mean, it was a cool. It was a Sony Vaio computer.
It was simple.
Yeah, but it was $1,800.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and dial up, and I had to call a local ISP service.
Yeah, I remember those days. AOL.
And
Could you say
dial
AOL?
up cost me like $30 a month. I had to get an extra phone line.
Yep.
Because it would tie your phone line up while you were on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And then to get online, you had to do all this dial-up crap. And then
yeah, you'll have to put that sound effect in there. Welcome to AOL.
Yeah, that's. Well, it wasn't just
Welcome,
AOL.
yeah,
It was getting online. Period.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna put that up. The sound.
Yeah. We have had computers for a while.
But anyhow, yeah, when I first started with computers, you see, that's the thing. It was like 97, but I had went to school back in 82. So that's how long it took me personally to be able to afford to buy a home computer because they were so expensive. They were outrageous.
Oh my God. Like I say, 96 or 97 is when I had my
But
first
the
laptop.
dial-up
It
phone was so funny about it. And see, the first place I ever went was Art Bell. I don't know if you all have heard of the Art Bell show, but he had a website. So I got on there. Well, he had video clips of UFOs and stuff like that. Well, you click to watch the video, and you might as well get up and get you some coffee, make you a sandwich, because it's going to take about an hour for that like 15-second video clip to download. Pictures, if you wanted to see a picture, it'd take you a good 2 minutes to download a high resolution. Well, high resolution back then.
Yeah, back
It looked
in the
like crap nowadays, but
pixelated.
oh, the internet. Oh, Lordy, you kids have it so good.
See, a lot of kids,
you dang kids.
young folks didn't know what life was about. When we were growing up, we said we were bored. We meant it. We had 3
Absolutely
TV
nothing
channels.
to do.
Yeah,
but we did stuff. We invented stuff, and if we were that
we
bored,
invented stuff too.
like my
throwing
dad,
apples
well,
at
if
each
you're that
other.
bored, go mow the lawn. So yeah, I go mow the lawn. I go do something. You get bored, you go do something.
Or get in a fight
Or
with your
read.
neighbors.
Yeah, or read. You do things.
Take little bitty hard apples that ain't right.
Oh, Lordy.
Put them in a slingshot. Man, they leave a whelp on you.
Okay, let's go on here now. What was your first job?
Working in a flower shop, Evelyn's Flowers. She's still in business to this day.
Cool.
And she remembered me too from high school.
And what are some of your other jobs?
Oh,
that job you got through the high school, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Job something program?
Job, the vocational training.
Yeah.
I also went for child care.
Yeah.
And then they said I'd make a bad child care worker because I got tickled at this little 3-year-old that came into our class. And they asked him what the cotton ball smelled like. And it was actually lemons. He said Pussy.
Oh, no.
And I got the giggles. I got in trouble that day.
Lord have mercy.
But I'll tell you something that I did do that saved a little boy's life when I was working for a daycare center when I was still in high school. There was a little boy, he was 18 months old, and every day he came in, he had something wrong with him. He had a black eye one day, a busted mouth the next day, and I went after the first day to Miss Tyree, and I said, Miss Tyree, something's wrong with this little boy. He keeps coming in every day. And the first day I reported it to her. I said, somebody's beating him. And I mean, it was very upsetting. Of course, I've got a soft heart when it comes to children and animals. And she says, well, we'll get this looked into. And I said, well, I wanted you to know that I've not spanked him or anything like that. Because I didn't believe in hitting anybody's little children. Because Lord knows I got my butt busted plenty of times when I was a kid, and that's one of the things, corporal punishment, there's other ways to handle stuff. And this little boy, every day he came in for a week, well, they got to investigating the mother and the dad, because I'm thinking, well, who's doing this? Could it be the babysitter, And come to find out, we alerted the hospital because they run blood work on him the first day, and there was something wrong with his system, that he would bruise really super easy, and they said that I had saved his life by bringing that to their attention, because back in those days, I don't know if CPS, Child Services and stuff got involved as much as they do now, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but I saved that little boy's life. That's
cool.
They helped him. They got him help. I forget what it was he had wrong with him, but
anyhow, on to the next.
Yeah, I've had some crazy jobs.
What are your memories of religion when you were younger? Now, you've told me some pretty funny stories about that.
Okay, could you be more,
Well, religion, what do you remember when you're, like, with your childhood and then growing up and religious activities? Things you used to do, churches you used to go to, if you went to church.
Yeah, some of it was kind of traumatic.
Well, funny traumatic.
Well, I got locked in the toilet.
First of all, I don't think your parents were really involved with the church. It was your two grandmothers.
My dad was adopted by his foster parents. They were Pentecostals.
Yeah, and he was a preacher. He ran a church.
And Dad, he was a little bit of a rebellion. He didn't go to church too often.
I'll tell the story about what he did. He run the speaker wire out to the outhouse.
Yeah.
Was that the church outhouse, or was that just at the
No,
at the
that
home?
was
That
was at their home.
Oh, okay.
That was at the parsonage. Well,
he was an electronics geek, so he.
Yeah, and he had a sense of humor. I guess it's where I get it from, because I look a lot like my dad when he was a kid, and even now if he was alive. But Dad runs speaker wire under the toilet, not at the top, but at the bottom. You know, where everything falls. You know, but he raised up the box where it had the seats, and he run the speaker wire. Well, my grandmother, she was about 4 foot tall. We called her the sergeant. We were all terrified of her because she didn't take no nonsense, and she was like a sergeant, buddy. She did not play. She would get a hold of you, and you would pray to God he would take you quickly. She was strict. She didn't put up with no foolishness of any kind. You couldn't laugh or giggle. Well, Daddy waited till she got seated. He was hiding behind a tree. He said, "Excuse me, ma'am, we're trying to paint down here.
Lord.
Can you move over?" She come out of that, busting out of the toilet with her panties down, and she was wearing a long dress. And she fell over their dog that had mange on its ear, poor old George. And she was running after my daddy. She was going to kill him. She was going to beat him to death. And yeah, Daddy did some bad stuff. She didn't like that one. But yeah, she was mad at him.
So anyway, I mean, other than that, you were pretty much brought up Pentecostal.
Yeah.
And you're still Pentecostal. You kind of
slash Baptist.
Yeah.
More so Baptist than Pentecostal, because I never spoke in tongues, and quite honestly, as a little child, it really scared me when Sister Lawson, she was like 400 pounds. Honey, when she'd get the spirit, I'd be praying, "Jesus, please don't let her fall on me. She's gonna hurt me." And I was a little bitty girl, you know, and you can imagine to, a 6-year-old child.
Yeah, I mean,
that's kind of frightening, and it frightened me, but I'm still very strong in my religious faith.
Yeah, I should say it's funny. It was amusing to watch people like it. When you're in the spirit like that, I understand. God bless them.
It's kind of scary when you're a little child,
because they can get a little too lost, and they can get out of control.
Oh, trust me,
Yeah, Pentecostal church, I'll tell you, go to one of those church services.
It's lively.
It's interesting.
It's lively.
And of course, now you get into the real backwoods.
The ones
with
that
the
handle
snakes and all that stuff. Yeah, drinking the poison.
Yeah.
There you're crossing the line.
We went one time with my grandmother. Now my grandmother had sense about her.
Yeah.
Granny took us to another church, and we didn't know, I didn't know, and I know my grandmother didn't know, that what they were doing. They brought this big wooden box out, and it had snakes in there, poisonous snakes. And then they had this jar, and it looked like a regular mason jar with water in it. You know, that's what I thought. Or moonshine or something, you know. Or something. Well, or something was, I guess, something toxic, and they were passing it around, and I got a hold of it, and I was like 12, and Granny says, "You're not going to drink that."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, why, Granny? It's water." She says, "No, it's not." And she took it from me and then passed it to somebody else.
They do. They'll drink cyanide. Yeah, I don't know why, how in the world they don't kill them. I don't understand. I mean, now a lot of people argue it's because of faith. No, there's something.
Well, the preacher, his daughter, they were handling the snakes, and I'm not afraid of snakes, but at the same time, I'm just not going to do that. You know, and it's not that I have weak faith. It's not that at all. It's just, that's just something I'm not going to do. Certain things I won't do regardless. And he lost his 16-year-old daughter, this pastor did. And they wouldn't get her medical help. And it's not because they couldn't afford it. It's they believed that God would take care of them.
Yeah.
Well, and they said, some of them said that she died because her faith wasn't good enough. And I told my grandmother on the way home, I said, "Granny, I never want to go to a church like that again, because they're wrong in what they believe. Because I believe if you have faith of a mustard seed, you know."
Exactly. And I don't know, they go off on these tangents like that, some of these churches, and it even states in the Bible, you're not to test faith like in that way. But they do, and it's all over. What is it, like one sentence in a verse out of the Bible?
Yeah.
I can't think of which one it is, but anyhow, about taking up serpents and no serpent or poison will harm you. Yeah, but you need to take the whole thing in context of what they were trying to say in the Bible.
Yeah.
But they took that one sentence out. And it's like, no.
I mean, it's against the law, but there's places in Kentucky and Tennessee
still do it.
That they still do that. I don't take of it. I don't believe in it. But I'm not going to.
Kentucky, Tennessee, North and South Carolina, Virginia. Virginia, West Virginia. That certain the Appalachians.
Yeah.
I did that on purpose because I know Kitschy's watching. The Appalachians.
Appalachians.
Appalachian. It's whatever.
It's like saying Kissimmee. Some people say Kissimmee.
Yeah.
It's Kissimmee. Or Louisville. They'll say Louisville. It's okay.
But yeah, it's in the sort of more rural Appalachian area where these churches still exist today.
Well, see, a lot of people also, when you say you're from Kentucky, there for a long time I was ashamed to say I was from Kentucky, and here's why.
Oh, another thing.
Do you marry your cousins or your brothers and sisters?
Yeah.
No, I don't, and I'm not currently married to my brother. I have no brothers, and I don't believe in that. Yeah. I mean, some of us we're a little smarter than that, and a lot of people can't.
Yeah,
separate.
People make fun of Kentuckians for their accents, and that's just wrong.
You know, I like our accent, and you know what? I'm gonna talk real Southern. That's a part of me. That's who I am, and I embrace me.
So anyhow, let's move on here. What from the past in your mind was better than the way it is now? What advice would you give today's youth?
What was that?
Oh, my mom throwing something in the garbage.
What was the question again?
What from the past in your mind is better than the way it is now, and what advice would you give to today's youth? Today's youth. I can't talk today.
The washing machines. Remember the old ringer ones? Get your arm stuck in that bad boy.
No, honey. I mean, no. See, you're going back to the gadgets. I'm talking what things back in your youth do you think were better than they are now? Like a lot of people think not having social media back in our day was better than what it is today. And I can't necessarily agree with that.
I'm halfway on the fence on the social media stuff.
Well, see, where I stand with social media is
know.
the fact that not so much social media, but the internet. A lot of people can't stand the internet. Yeah, there's a lot of evil on the internet.
There's a lot of good
But
too.
there's so much much more information to the better. And I've always been the kind of person that never stop educating yourself.
Yeah.
And the internet's a good tool
Education is power. Knowledge is power.
But,
when you know better, you do better.
now the problem though with social media is it's taken us away from getting to know our neighbors.